Hey everyone, today we are going to learn about Lambda functions in Python. A Python Lambda function can only have one expression and no multiple lines. It is supposed to be an easier way to create some small logic in one line instead of a whole function as it is usually done. Lambda functions are also anonymous, which means there is no need to name them. The basic syntax is you just use the lambda keyword and then you define the parameters you are going to need. Use the symbol, the colon, and then you use it to separate the expression from the parameters you defined. So let's see some examples of how this is used. The first one, let's check a single parameter example. We are going to define a cubic lambda function where we are going to take a number as parameter and make it and return this number to the power of 3. So let's test this function. Okay, save it, execute it. Okay, 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So here it is. Another example, a little bit more complex. Let's take multiple parameters at once and return some function that uses the 3 of them. So this was one parameter. This next one is gonna be multiple parameters. All right, so let's make it, I'm gonna call it exponential function. So lambda multiplier number exponent. So these 3 will be my parameters and this will be my function after the column. Multiplier times number to the power of exponent. Okay, so this is our whole function. Multiplier, number, and exponent as parameters, and this is the line that will execute some function, this function over these parameters. Let's now test our function. Let me remove this. So 2, 2, 3. Let's see the output. 16. So 2 to the power of 3 times 2. So it's gonna be 2 to the power of 3 times 2, which is 16. This is 8. 2 to the power of 3 is 8 times 3, 16. All right. Now let's see how we can call the lambda function directly. Instead of assigning the lambda function to a variable, a name like this, we can just call it directly. You don't need to use a variable as we did before. You can make use of parentheses around the lambda function and another pair of parentheses around the arguments. The declaration of the function and the execution will happen in the same line. So let's see how it works. I will take the same function we used before for the multiple parameters. Okay, it's the same, but I will wrap it on parentheses, and right after I will use another pair of parentheses and pass the parameters. You see it's the same parameters we used here, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, all at once. So we should have 16. Let's see. Oh, I have to assign the value. So I will just call it result and print result. Okay. All right. We have 16, the same result we had before. Finally, we are going to see Lambda functions with other built-in functions. First, we are going to see map function. The map function applies the expression to each item in a list. So we are going to calculate the cubic of each number in a list. Let's see it in action. We have a list of numbers 2, 5, 2, 5, 10. I'm gonna call this cubics, the return. Now let's define our lambda function. Lambda number is the parameter, and then number to the power of 3. Okay. Now, how do we apply this lambda function to each number in this list at once? That's when we make use of map. The map function works like this. It will take each value in this list, 2, 5, and 10, and apply to this lambda function. So numbers, first 2 comes as an argument, then we take the power of 2, then 5, then 10. But there is one last trick, and I'm going to show you which trick it is. But first, let me show you what happens if I try to execute this directly. Let's see. The map object actually returns, the map function actually returns a map object. So to see the result of its execution, we have to convert it to another kind of object. I will convert it to a list. And there it is. 2 to the power of 3 is 8. 5 to the power of 3 is 125. 10 to the power of 3 is 1000. This could also be a tuple. It works as well. The next example we are going to see is using filter. The filter function will obviously filter the list based on the expression we are going to define. So let's see a similar example that we used before, but now with filter, we are going to filter only the numbers that are greater than 5. So it's gonna be the same list, 2, 5, and 10 here, okay? And I will call it filtered list. We are going to define our lambda function like we did before. Okay, let's use the filter function here. It's very similar to how we used the map function, applying each item on this list, on the numbers list, to this to the lambda function here. And this also has to be converted to a list like we did before with map, or a tuple. It works the same. So what this does is it will only use the numbers on the list that's greater than 5. Filter it. Let me copy this. Okay. Here. The only number greater than 5 on this list is 10. So the filter function will use the lambda function to filter out the numbers on this list based on this expression that filters only numbers above a certain value. In this case, it was 5. This is it. If you like, please subscribe, leave a comment for more content like this. Bye.